So this is it, this big echoing metal box. This is where our camper van build takes off.
For months, we've been sketching, planning, saving up, and endlessly scrolling through pictures of everyone else's amazing adventures. And now it's our turn. This plain, bare van is about to get a serious makeover.
We're not just slapping a bed in the back of this thing. We are building our ultimate home away from home, our ticket to freedom on the open road.
Before we get to the fun stuff like beds, kitchens, and those cool moody lights, there are some super important steps that we absolutely can't skip.
We're talking about the groundwork, the stuff that makes the van actually livable. So today we're jumping right in, no more waiting around. The ultimate camper van build starts right now, and we are starting with these 4 things: the sound deadening, the subfloor, the insulation, and then cutting holes in the top of the roof for our fans. It's definitely going to be a little challenging, probably a bit of a mess, but hey, it's the start of something great. Let's do this. All right. Got ourselves a really big ratchet with a big hex or a big socket on it because I don't own a roller, and we're gonna start putting in some sound deadening. I bought the Amazon version because who cares? Everybody's got an obsession with the best and the nicest, and maybe Killmat is better, maybe it's not. But I'll put this on, we'll tap on it and see if it works. That's not good. Yeah. Okay, well, Silas sound deadening material. Boo. I'm like, oh, who cares? Just buy the cheap stuff. It does the same thing. It's just a rubber that grabs. But there's no difference in sound in those. You can tell. And like when you tap there, it's definitely dead versus there. I just like did a little research on Google, and it seems like these panels have a little deflection, so you don't notice it. You can definitely tell that there's a little bit of sound deadening happening, so I'm gonna go ahead and use it. It looks like Killmat and Silas. People have had them side by side, put them on vans, and you couldn't tell the difference. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep working. With the ceiling, we're going to use thin slate, and then I'm going to use sound deadening panels on top of that, because rain noise, like rain can be pretty really annoying on metal and keep you awake all night. We've stayed in a cargo trailer and camped in a cargo trailer before, and that thin roof in the cargo trailer, we'd stay up all night when a storm because it was just so loud, it just echoes. And so I really don't want that to happen in this thing, which I don't think it will, but especially once we get everything in. Good morning. Well, it's Saturday. I don't have to go to work, and I get to work on the van. Unfortunately, my back hurts, so I can't bend over. It's okay. Because we got a beautiful decaf coffee. Because I also can't drink coffee or caffeine. So this morning, we got this Silas. It's another form of sound deadening mat, but it's like a more foam oriented sound deadening mat. And what we're going to do with this stuff is we're going to put it inside the track and then put the plywood on top of it. And then once everything goes on, it'll kind of crush that a little bit. And it'll be nice and solid. And it should have some tension in there. So, we're gonna go ahead and lay it out and see how many strips of the stuff I actually need. So this is the roll of this Silas foam stuff that we're using to put inside the grooves of the van, and I need to cut it. And so I'm gonna use the miter saw, and I think that'll cut a nice straight line. I did use a bread knife already, and that was a pain in the butt, just trying to keep it straight all the way through this big roll. So I am, however, gonna use the miter saw on the ground because I can't pick it up because I'm not supposed to lift heavy things. So, yeah, let's do that. We're just putting strips inside these crevasses, and we'll start sticking them down. That way we have a nice flat floor.
It's gonna be fun.
Because it's so, some of these are so warped. That stuff should stick down pretty good though.
I'm just gonna get...
Cool, that looks like it's gonna hold down. Okay, so a little update. The all the strips are in. The memory card on the camera died, or it got full. So all the flooring strips are in. So this makes our floor nice and level. We got the first piece of insulation cut. So first piece cut. It's not perfect, but it'll be okay. I'll try to cut the plywood a little nicer. But that's okay. Sweet. We're getting somewhere. Getting a floor. Alright, well, we got the van insulation on the floor pretty much done. We've got to do a couple little pieces at the front, and then start pulling them out and using them to lay out our plywood. So that's what I'm going to do this morning. Shall we? I think I'll just open up the side door. I've got stuff to cut some foam and go cut some foam for the front. Do people leave these on? So these are like the door stops for the 180 or the whatever 270 door. I don't know what it is, but do people leave these on? And is this supposed to hold that in place, or I feel like that should stop there, but it doesn't. Anyways, so I got these little weird spots here that I gotta fill in with foam and then figure out what I'm gonna do flooring wise. I'm really just not sure what we're gonna do here flooring, because this kind of just, I want to get rid of this mat because it looks nice. We'll see. I'm gonna keep working. I'm gonna fill it with foam, fill it with plywood. Couple spots where I did not cut it very well, so you add a little bit of cardboard, and then when you put this on the plywood, it makes a much better template that way. So I think everything else is good. We're gonna have a transition strip around the back once we're done. So let's go ahead and pull this piece out and template it to a piece of plywood. It's pretty good. The wheel wells are a little big, but that's because it all angles that way. It angles off, so it gets like a bigger gap. But it's okay. I think it'll be fine. Solid. Feels good. All right, now we gotta pull this piece of foam out and template it to a piece of wood. Let's get the piece of wood on the bench. Okay, well, after debating this for 10 minutes, standing here looking at it, I decided to go get another sheet of plywood instead of using scraps to fill this in, so that everything that's silver can be one piece, and that's going to include something that's going to go up to this point right here. So it just so much easier, less likely to have squeaks in the floor. It's all one piece. It'll fit nice. So anyways, that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to tape all this together. That way it's a good template. Take it out, put it back there. I also got some M8 by 1.25 threaded bolts with like a pan head screw that I can drill into the wood. And then I'm going to drill everywhere that there is, everywhere that there was a hold down, I'm going to go ahead and screw the plywood down to the floor. And then we're going to put a ton of weight on and glue it down. So we'll have a couple, hopefully that'll make for a solid base that doesn't shift or move. So anyways, that's what we're going to do. So let's get to it. Okay, well, we got a subfloor. So you can see this, but we got foam. There are some strips down there, and then we've got about 5/8 worth of plywood, some foam, and everything's glued down. So basically we did all the layers, glued them down, and everything is solid. So let's jump up here. So everything's nice and solid. We do have a couple spots that, let me turn you around. We've got a couple of spots where the seams, there's a little bit of a lip and you can catch it with your fingernail, and that's not going to work out. So I just couldn't get it to go further down. I'm not sure why, maybe a little bit too much underneath. So we'll sand that out and flatten this whole seam out, and then we'll also do the same to that seam right there. Otherwise, we got a super solid base. I will need to fill, like, this gap's too big. I screwed up. I like 1 inched myself for the curve. So anyways, we'll fill that. Well, we're gonna cut in our Maxxair fan. So here goes nothing cutting into the roof. And I'm just gonna cut it from below because it's much easier than getting up on the roof. I mean, I have to install it from the roof, but I'm gonna drill a hole in all the corners so I have a nice radius corner. Cutting this one. Ah. There it goes. All right, I'm gonna grab the other grinder, clean this up, spray it with a hit of paint, get on top, fill all the way around, because we have these giant nubs, and yeah, go from there. Now we're gonna put this stuff on there. Clean this off first, shouldn't I? Oh, this stuff's pretty gooey. I have to clean off the inside anyway. Well, got the Maxxair, at least Maxxair fan set into place. The black silicone doesn't look the best because it's such a white van, but it's what I had, and yeah, we're not buying more just because it doesn't match color wise. Nobody's getting up here to look, and we're gonna put a roof rack up here anyway that's black, so it'll blend right in. Anyways, now we get these screws in. In order to do that, we got to push down on this thing pretty hard. So we're just going to put that right there. There we go. And now we should be waterproof. Do this thing on this side. Oh. We got our deadly little spikes poking through. we'll get it all wired and get the inside put on. I think that's good for an after work project. Well, it's another day. Got ourselves some warm liquid, and we're gonna start insulating the van. I'm super excited. We got this thin slate. Let's check it out. So we've got our thin slate, and we've got our glue, which this is 3M Super 90. This stuff's pretty expensive. It's like $16 or $17 a can, and it covers about 45 to 50 square feet. So hopefully 2 cans will do the whole van. We're about oh, it won't do the whole van. What am I talking about? I'm gonna go need to get 2 more cans at the very least, maybe 3. No, I got 60 linear feet of this times 5. So 60 times 5 is a lot more than 100. Okay, whatever. We'll do as far as we can, and we'll go get some more. Anyways, they vacuum seal it and they ship it out, and we're gonna open it. Oh, there we go. Well, so now we've got to figure out where we're putting it and how wide stuff is. So we got it laid out right here at the door. This is where I'm going to cut and measure. So if I get a straight edge on it, I'll measure over, and then we'll cut 28-inch section, put it in. We'll just keep doing that until we fill the van up. Hopefully it works. Well, we got a long ways to go. Well, this is going to be a long process, so I'm going to go ahead and put you on a time lapse, and I'm going to get as much as I can done with the 2 cans of glue I have. And hopefully you enjoy watching me struggle. Alright, so we're just marking out, or we did just mark out where our second max fan is going to go, and it's in this clear span space where there's no ribs. It'll make it much easier, but I don't want to put insulation here because then I'll just have to cut it all back out. So what I'm going to do is cut to the line and call it good. Whale, it's I think 7 o'clock, and I've been at it since about 11:30. I did have to make a trip to town and buy a little bit more thin slate from a guy off of Facebook Marketplace. Luckily, it was just about enough exactly to finish the van. I was about 100 inches short, or like 9-ish linear feet, right? I do not have enough insulation to do the window section of the door. I don't know when we're going to put a window in there. We're going to wait until we have enough money to spend another $500 or decide whether we want it. We're not really sure if we want the window there or if we'd rather have no windows. We are putting window here and a window here, but I have cut and I have enough insulation to put here and on the bottom there, as well as I have enough insulation to do this bay after I cut out the fan. So those pieces are sitting right there. They're already pre-cut. Everything else is full. I got all this stuff like filled in here. There's a couple of the pillars in the very back I do not have anything in. I'm gonna run some wiring through that, so I don't know if I'm gonna try to stuff any. I have that much left, and I'm about to stuff that in whatever places I can. I still need to fill that little spot down there. So anyways, we're mostly done. I'm gonna call that a wrap. I need to go mow my lawn. Okay, well, good news on the insulation front is I was like, man, I barely had enough to do this van, and I didn't really get some of the crevices that I wanted to get. So like in the door, for example, I had missed, and I didn't realize that I'd missed like this spot right here. I'd done everything else, and so there's like just a few spots where I'm like, how did I run out so quickly? It came in 2 packages, so it came 30 feet in one package and 30 feet in another box that just showed up today. And I did majority of a 177 Sprinter with 30 lineal feet with 0 waste, and then another 100 inches that I bought off some guy on Facebook Marketplace. So 30, almost 40 lineal feet, and I did the majority of a 177 Sprinter with no windows. Obviously we have a couple spots that have no insulation, but I do have the pieces for those that are cut. So I would say with 50 linear feet of insulation, you are solid. I don't think you need 60. You'll have 10 feet of leftover. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I just, I pieced a few spots and used every single scrap I had. It would probably be easier to do it without that, doing scraps. Like there's a couple spots right here where I had to like piece it in, and I put a couple extra layers in there because I pieced it. But I don't know, 60 linear feet seems like way too much. I think I'll finish with what I have here, which will mean I'll have 20 lineal feet unopened. I did obviously buy that little bit of scrap that guy had, and so that's part of why. But yeah, I think I don't think you need 60 or 70. Some people say 70. It's just unnecessary. But we've got it. It showed up. I'm super excited that we can, stuff in more spots. And I was thinking, man, we're gonna. I just didn't want to buy anymore. This stuff is expensive. So it was like $600 I've spent so far on insulation. Yeah. Anyways, we're gonna keep going. All right, we just wanted to show you how we're putting insulation on. So if you can see where Hannah's at right now, she's gonna tie around the insulation to this wire that we've pushed through, because these spots are really hard to get insulation in. And so this is the best way. The first one we tried to just shove it through, and she had a little screwdriver with each one of these little holes.
I did it.
She did it. It sucked.
It just took me like
it sucks.
10 minutes.
So this is much faster. Tie the insulation to one side. Or do you want me to push? Do you want me to push or you want to push? All right, so then you just kind of, one person can push it, or I'm long enough I could do both, but
that is on a team
and then
event.
Up it goes. So as she's pulling on that wire, I am just pushing it in.
It's like you've stopped pushing.
And it just goes, and then it goes all the way across. And it's much faster.
In less than a minute.
Get to the end. These are a little bit longer than we need, so you shove the rest up in there.
Ow. Take it.
So once you have it down, the tricky part is kind of getting this out. You got to get the end of the insulation back through the hole. Like that. Pull it down, untwist it, and then put that back up. And now this cavity is insulated as well. We didn't make an outro because we had to leave and come here to this beautiful paradise. And so we just want to say thank you for watching this first van build video from Hawaii, where we're at right now. And to the next one. Hopefully you can enjoy a little bit of fish in the ocean with us for a couple minutes at the end. And we'll see you when we do cabinets.